Trump University. It's going to do very well, and it will continue to do very well. But we have a lawsuit where they're trying to get, we have one of these class action lawyers guys, and it's ridiculous. But we'll win that lawsuit. And I just want to explain. I and the United States should be this. I don't settle lawsuits, very rare. Because once you settle lawsuits, everybody sues you. Very simple. It's like business. I teach it. When you settle lawsuits, it's easier to settle. Sometimes it's cheaper to settle. But once you settle, I had a friend who taught me a long time ago. He was sued very rarely, and everybody else in the same business was sued all the time. He said, Donald, I never settle. The lawyers learn you don't settle, they don't sue. So I don't settle lawsuits. When I watch these banks, they're settling lawsuits all the time. They get paid $40 million a year, a banker. And then he settles lawsuits with governments and other people, giving billions and billions of dollars. I don't do it. So when I saw the different things, and by the way, the winery, you see the wine, because he mentioned Trump vodka. No more. It's the largest winery on the East Coast. I own it 100%. No mortgage, no debt. You can all check. You have to go check the records, folks. In fact, the press, I'm asking you, please check, because you can see if there's any debt. It was the Kluge estate, John Kluge. He was the richest man in the United States. He died, and he built one of the great vineyards of all time. I mean, there is nothing like it. Close to 2,000 acres. It's in Charlottesville, Virginia, right next to the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. And we're very proud of it. We make the finest wine, as good a wine as you can get anywhere in the world. And I know the press is extremely honest, so I won't offer them any, but if they want, they can take a bottle of wine home. The members have plenty, right? The members have plenty. But we have one of the greatest. Actually, I believe it's the largest vineyard and the largest winery on the East Coast. And so I wanted to put that to rest. So you have the water. You have the steaks. You have the airline that I sold. I mean, what's wrong with selling? Every once in a while you can sell something. You have the wines and all of that. And Trump University, we're going to start it up as soon as I win the lawsuit. Does that make sense? I mean, that's it. Okay. He just didn't make mistakes. I love that kind of a guy. I think what this shows, really more than anything else, is that advertising is not as important. It really isn't as important as competence. Because there has never been more money spent on hitting somebody than was spent on me. And between that and people saying things, and, Lindsey Graham goes, and he's a nasty person. First of all, he's wrong on the military. This is why he said, I've been doing this for 15 years. That's right. We've been fighting a war for 15 years with this kind of thinking. I mean, if you're going to fight a war, win the war, and let's get back to rebuilding our country, okay? But Lindsey Graham, I mean, he's been so nasty. I think he's probably a nice guy, but he's been so nasty. I watch him. I say, man, does he hate Donald Trump? And I watch him. And if you think about it, every single person that's attacked me has gone down. Okay? I don't want to mention names. Let's not mention names, okay? They're out. They're gone. But you can take a look at virtually they're gone. But you can take a look at virtually every single person. We started off with 17. We're down to 4. Of the 4, they're pretty much all gone. Okay? Pretty much. They didn't do so well tonight, folks. Okay? I'm not going to say anybody didn't do well. They didn't do well. There's only one person did well tonight, Donald Trump. I will tell you. Still. Actually amazing. I was impressed, and even Megyn Kelly said, boy, Donald Trump really did well tonight. Thank you, Megyn. Thank you. That was a very unusual. I was shocked, actually, to hear that. But that was very nice. And Charles Krauthammer said that. He was very, very nice. Thank you, Charles. It's about time. I've been waiting like 5 years, Charles. But it is true. I mean, we have had such hostility. Like with Lindsey, he was at 7, he attacked me, and we took him down to 0. He leaves in disgrace. He then goes to his own state, and they do a poll in South Carolina. He endorses somebody else, and the poll in South Carolina has me at 47, him at 2, and he's a sitting senator. And then he went down from there. And you know what? I don't like to bring it up, but I tell you, it's enough, Lindsey. Just relax, go home, relax for a little while. Everyone knows you take this big defeat, and the problem is the press never calls them out. They go to this horrible defeat, And then they go and they start immediately on the attack, and it's like he never ran and made a fool out of himself. You know, at what point do you call people out? So I call people out. But it is true. They've attacked me viciously, and every single one who's attacked me is gone. And I'm very proud of that because that's what we should have for our country. That's what we should have. ISIS should not be beating us. We don't win anymore. We don't win with our military. We don't win with health care. We don't win with anything. And we should be in a position where ISIS is dictating terms. And, you know, the other day at one of the debates, the one before last, they asked Ted, Lion Ted. I call him Lion Ted. He holds the Bible high, and then he goes down, he puts the Bible down, and then he lies. Lion Ted. You know, he'll say, I'm the only one that beat Donald Trump. I've said that before. I beat him. But he doesn't say, yeah, he won like 4, and I won like 12 or 13, right? He forgets the other part. But Lion Ted, and you know, when they say
You've been planning it for months. So, a sudden snowfall.
With the evangelicals, and everyone was a little surprised. I'm a very good Christian. And, you know, they're chipping away at Christianity. And we're not going to let that happen anymore, folks. I'll tell you. And a lot of times I'll say at the rallies around Christmas time, we're going to start saying Merry Christmas again. You know, they don't say it anymore. The Department of Stores don't put it up. We're going to start saying it again. But they're chipping away at Christianity, and we just can't do it. And I'll tell you, with the evangelicals, they get it. They get it. They get me. They understand me. I'll be the best thing that ever happened to them. I mean that, 100%. And they don't like the way Ted talks, and they don't like the fact that he truly does lie. And I actually he lies badly. And it was actually, interestingly, little Marco helped me a lot. Because what Marco did is in one of the debates, he screamed across me. I've been in the center. Never out of center. In fact, I always like an odd number, because with the odd number, I'm in the center. With an even number, like last week, I hated it because we had 4 people, so I'm not in the center. So we should always keep it odd numbers, right? So we're right in the center. But I've been in the center for every single debate. But Marco helped me a lot because he called Ted a liar. He said, you're a liar. That's the first time. Look, I know politicians better than anybody. They're liars, okay? They're serious liars. More importantly, they'll never get you to the promised land, ever. They'll never get you to the promised land. They won't do it because they're controlled by the special interests. They're controlled by the people that put up all this money for them to run. They're controlled. You know how much money was spent in the last week on me? And do you know how many times they were asking, despite the fact that they're not supposed to be talking to their super PAC? Carl, fellas, let me ask you a question. How many times do you think Marco and Ted and all of them were calling their super PAC? Is that right? It's called life. That's the way life works. They talk to their super PAC. They're not supposed to, but that's the way life works. So, we are going to do something. I think we're going to clean the slate. I think we're going to do really well in Florida. It's my second home. I love Florida. I love Florida. Special place, and I think we're going to do really well. I think we're going to do really well in Ohio. Now that I have Paul O'Neill's endorsement, I know I'm going to win Ohio. But I love Ohio. I have so many friends in Ohio. It's an amazing place. And we're going to go have a lot of fun. And then what we're going to do is we're going to beat Hillary Clinton. And we're going to beat her badly. We're going to beat her badly. And I think one of the things, and then we'll take some questions, but one of the things that really I add that's very different. You know, we always talk about the 5 and sometimes 6, but the 5 states that you have to get. Whether it's Ohio or Pennsylvania or Florida, you know, if you don't get one, because the Republicans, structurally, it's much tougher. It's much tougher for a Republican to win the presidency, like by a factor of 5. But I add things that nobody else can do.
You've been planning it for months. So, a sudden snowfall.
Delegates, upstate New York, I poll higher than anybody ever. Because they are really in trouble up there. And they know that I would have done things they wouldn't be.
You've been planning it for months. So, a sudden...
We're going to take it back. We're going to bring the car industry back into Michigan. I'm going to win Michigan. It's never even a question. When these candidates are talking about running, it's never even a question. Michigan's not something they even talk about. I'll win New Jersey. I'll win Ohio. I'll win Florida. I'll win Virginia. I have great properties in Virginia. Charlottesville, we just talked, winery. On the Potomac River, we have one of the great places in the world. I have 600 acres on the Potomac River, one of the great pieces of property in the world. Very, very successful place. A lot of employees in Virginia. And it seems that when I have something in a location, like when I'm in Virginia and I have a lot of employees, I have great places. Florida were great last week with Adam Scott. 2 days ago, Adam Scott. How good was that? Who's a great young man, and the way he won the tournament, the Cadillac World Championship. But when you have property in a state, it means you love the state. It means you have a lot of employees. You pay these employees. You take care of their health care. You take care of their education for their families. You take care of so many things. And you just do well. So I think I'm going to do great there, and I think I'm going to do great in Ohio. And I really look forward to it. I'm going to be working very hard between the two. And Illinois, I have one of the greatest buildings in the world. In Chicago, I have one of the greatest buildings, rated the #1 hotel in North America. And I'm very proud of it. It's a great, right on the river. And it's a great, great building. And maybe that's where we have our next news conference. And, maybe we'll do it right in Chicago. So let's see what the press has to ask. And we'll then go home and we'll go celebrate a lot of victories. Yes, go ahead. CBS. No, I don't really, because you have to win. I know how to win. I've won. These people will tell you, have I won many club championships? Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Have I won many club championships? Does Trump know how to close? Believe it or not, it's not so different. Winning is winning. You got to be not easy to win club championships, believe me. And I'm not talking about with strokes. I'm talking with no strokes. But the fact is that I like to close things out. So until the last person is done. Again, we started with a field of 17, and now we're down to 4. And I really want to close things out. I don't want to start thinking in terms. I have not even focused on Hillary yet. I'm doing well. Numerous polls have me winning, but I haven't even started with her, other than 4 weeks ago when I actually hit her very hard because what she said was wrong. Oh, there are many cases. The case I have all night. Okay, you'd have to go on for hours. Hillary is going to be very easy to beat. She's a very flawed candidate, very, very flawed candidate, and it's going to be. I believe it's going to be a very, very easy target if she's allowed to run, because there's a real question as to whether or not she's even going to be allowed to run. And if the government is going to do its job properly, she will not be allowed to run. Okay. Go ahead, Tom. Well, I have no message to Marco. I think that, he has to make his own. It's been a tough night for him, but he's going to make his own decision. I've actually had a good relationship with Marco, believe it or not. He became hostile about 2 weeks ago, and it didn't work. See? Hostility works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. Okay? No, but he became very hostile. And you know what? It doesn't work for him. He would have been better off had he kept the original pitter-patter going. But this didn't work. Say it, Tom, a little louder. Well, I've been outspent by everybody. Part of the beauty, look, I have much more money than all of them put together times 20, okay? But I'm a businessman. I don't have to spend. Why should I spend the money? I've spent probably $25 or $30 million. Other people have spent $160 million. You have the numbers. In New Hampshire, as an example, I spent $1.5 million, and somebody else spent $48 million. I was 1. The other person was number 5. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a country that worked that way? Right? So the CNN poll came out, and I was 41. In fact, I was 49, and second is 15 and 15. And, and I've spent less money than anybody else. Now, the phony Wall Street Journal poll just came out, where I'm still number 1, but that poll, if you remember the poll from South Carolina, the Wall Street Journal NBC poll was the phoniest, most disgusting poll I've ever seen, okay? I don't believe that poll, and I don't know who's making up that poll, but they should not pay their bill. I don't do that. People say, oh, Donald Trump doesn't pay the bill. That's true. I never pay bills when somebody does a bad job. They did such a bad job during the South Carolina run. They had me practically dying in South Carolina the day before. I mean, they did that with viciousness and vindictiveness, and it looked like I was really in trouble. And then I won in a landslide. The poll was wrong. And then the following day, they came out with a national poll that was ridiculous, too. So they came out with another one. NBC, Chuck Todd, NBC, Wall Street Journal. I'm saying, what's wrong with them? It's not right. Now, CNN came out with a poll, 49, a couple of days ago. They came out with a poll, 30. Again, I'm still in first place, but I really believe their poll is wrong. And boy, did they turn out to be wrong in South Carolina. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. I'll be honest with you. I saw it. I was a little concerned with that ad until I saw it. I think it's better than any ad I've ever taken for myself. I do. You know why? Let me just tell you why. No, I really mean it. I really mean it. I heard about the ad and I said, oh, I'm not going to like this. But when I looked at it, and I can be, by the way, I can be more presidential than anybody. I can be more presidential if I want to be. I can be more presidential than anybody. You know, when I have 16 people coming at me from 16 different angles, you don't want to be so presidential. You have to win. You have to beat them back, right? But I would say more presidential, and I've said this a couple of times, more presidential than anybody other than the great Abe Lincoln. He was very presidential, right? But the truth is that I saw that ad. And people are sick and tired of being politically correct. And I actually think that ad is good for me. Because in some cases, as you know, I was kidding and I was joking. I have a big audience and I was joking, with words not so bad, by the way. But I was joking. In other cases, I was showing anger and showing a certain toughness. Anger. And it shows a certain degree like we're not going to take it anymore from all of these countries that have been ripping us off and taking our jobs and taking our money like we're a bunch of babies. Very, very stupid babies. So I watched that ad, and I don't think it's a bad ad for me. I actually think if I had my choice of saying I could have it down or let it run, let it run. Say it again. Oh, you're so politically correct. You're so beautiful. Oh, look at you. Oh, he's so... Oh, I know. You've never heard a little bad, little off language. I know. You're so perfect. Aren't you perfect? Aren't you just a perfect young man? Give me a break. You know what? It's stuff like that that people in this country are tired of, okay? It's stuff like that. Sarah?
It sounds like...
Say it again, Sarah, a little louder.
Negative attacks. It sounds...
Well, maybe at some point they will, but look, I hear $39 million has been spent. I'll be honest with you, I'm very surprised. I looked at the numbers. In Mississippi, I'm close to 50%. That's not 50% with 2 people. That's 50% with 4 people. That's a lot. That's shocking. That's like record setting. Big difference, you know, if you're running like Hillary and you're running against one guy. I mean, you're running against Bernie, okay? And you get a 50 or a 52 or a 56. I'm running against 3 very competent people, and I'm getting 50%, and in Michigan, I'm close to 40% against a big group of people. I think that, I will say this, I am a little bit surprised that I was at the rep, and I was watching Adam Scott hit that last great shot. And I went back and I was watching the news in one of the rooms, and every single advertisement was about me. And it was during my tournament. I'm turning my tournament. I go from tournament to horrible ad. The most vicious ad. I mean, one of the reasons I brought the wine out and the water out and the steak out and more wine and more water. And I told you about Trump University. Well, we'll win that case. That's going to be an easy case to win. Everybody signed a document. One of the reasons is just because of that. They hit me with this Trump University. It's not even a big case. We're going to win the case. I could settle that case so easily. I don't want to settle it. It'd be easier for me to settle it. I wouldn't have all you people writing about it. but I don't want to settle it. I could settle it so easy. And if you live by principle, and believe it or not, I'm a very highly principled person. If you live by principle, you're going to do very well. So, but I just to finish, I must tell you, I was a little surprised when I saw the viciousness of the ads. And the viciousness of really, Mitt was very vicious. I mean, he gets up and he just, I wish he used that same energy against Obama. I think he would have won. No. If he used the same energy against Obama, he would have won. Carl? Yeah, I say let's come together, folks. We're going to win. I say let's come together. Carl, the answer is not 100%, but largely I would say yes. You know, some people you're just not going to get along with it. It's okay. But largely I would like to do that. And believe it or not, I am a unifier. I unify. I mean, you look at all of the things I built all over the world. I'm a unifier. I get along with people. I have great relations. I even start getting along with you, right? Huh? Campaign Carl. But no, I get along with people. And I really say this, Carl. I think it's time to unify. We have something special going in the Republican Party, and unfortunately, the people in the party, they call them the elites, or they call them whatever they call them, but those are the people that don't respect it yet. We have millions and millions of people. I discussed it before. We have millions and millions of people coming up and voting, largely for me, in all fairness, but for other people also. And Carl, you know this because I've seen you report on it. It's a record. It's a record. It's never happened before. In 100 years, what's happening now to the Republican Party has never happened before. And the people in the party, whether you call them establishment or not, you can call them anything. I don't know if there is such a thing as the establishment, frankly. But whether you call them the establishment or not, they should embrace it. They should, you know, the Democrats would love to have what's happening. I have friends on the other side. They say, boy, would we like that to happen. You know, Carl, they're down 35%. There's no spirit there. Whereas we're way up with millions of people. So what I say to the Republicans is embrace it. We will win the election easily. Yeah. Well...